Super Mario Odyssey is honestly one of the most fun games I have ever played. It's not the best game of all time, but the gameplay, controls, art style and music made it an amazing experience. But even though I really enjoyed my time with it, I still found certain parts of the game to be frustrating. And that is why we are today taking a look at how to make Super Mario Odyssey 2 the best game of all time. The moons are one of the best parts of Super Mario Odyssey. Being able to complete whatever task suits you best first, and not being forced to do a certain challenge is great. It's very good in concept, and in execution, at least during the main story. But my problem with the moons is that when you're trying to get to the darker side of the moon, it gets really repetitive, because you get the moons in very similar ways a lot of the time. A lot of the moons are just jump to this spot or ground pound here, and I know that a lot of people might find this very fun after the story is completed, but for me it got too repetitive. So I would like more goals along the way, because getting from 250 to 500 moons to be able to reach the darker side of the moon is very repetitive, and I think you need more smaller goals along the way. The volleyball minigame isn't a big problem, because you aren't forced to complete it. But that doesn't excuse it for being poorly designed. In the minigame, you're getting a ball thrown at you, and then you're supposed to throw the ball back by hitting it with your cap or by running into the ball. But the problem is that it's very difficult to hit the ball. And not difficult in a good way, but in a frustrating way. You might be able to throw it back a few times, but then suddenly the cap is a little bit to the side, and you have to redo everything. And to get the moon, you need to throw the ball back 100 times, which I find to be impossible. Now the great thing with Super Mario Odyssey is that you don't need to get every moon to get to the last stage, that is the darker side of the moon. But this minigame is just impossible to beat, so Nintendo, please remove it for the next game. When I looked on the outside of the box on Super Mario Odyssey, I saw that it had support for 2 players. I bought it because I wanted to play a fun new single-player Super Mario game, so it was just a fun surprise. But not really a fun surprise, because Super Mario Odyssey multiplayer basically boils down to one player being Cappy and one being Mario. This makes it so that you lose out on a lot of the fun from playing with Mario, because one of the best things is to use Cappy while playing as Mario, for example throwing him forward and then bouncing off him. So it's not as fun to play as Mario, but the person that plays as Cappy basically has nothing to do except picking up coins and capturing enemies. But they aren't even allowed to control the enemies they have captured, so it's even more boring for them. When I saw that the game had support for 2 players, I was instead picturing that one person was playing as Luigi and one person was playing as Mario, with both of them having their own Cappy. But instead, it was horrible. For the next game, I hope that they can make something more fun with co-op. Even if they can't work in 2 characters in the main story, maybe have like a side mode where you can play 4 players that is separate from the main one. You could have the Koopa races available for co-op, for example. Just make something more fun. The story itself is okay. I mean, it's a basic Mario story, where Princess Peach gets kidnapped and you need to save her. But I feel like they could have done so much more with it. They could have made it more interesting by adding some twists, or whatever, something just to keep you more engaged along the way. And I know that Mario games in general don't have expanded stories, but it would be nice if they gave it a shot. They could even try voice acting again, but they might not want to try that again after the masterpiece that is Super Mario Sunshine.
Mario! How dare you disturb my family vacation?